Hi Aries, here is your ex-partner reading for the month of October 2017. I've done the 2 rows as always. This will be the row for you, this will be for your ex-partner. Please keep in mind that the messages or energies can often go vice versa. This month also I'm using a card in the centre to either give further information or to act as a central issue here. And the card that you've got is the Empress, Major Arcana. The Empress is a nice card. It talks about domestic comfort, security, feeling protected. Also, the Empress is somebody that likes the more conventional type relationship. I think it's here to highlight that both of you, whether you're together or apart, you're both wanting the same things from a relationship. You're both wanting that domestic comfort. You're both wanting to feel grounded and secure within the realms of a relationship. Now, the first card that you've got on your side, you've got Judgment. And again, I like the Judgment card. And the Judgment card, as we know, comes before the World card, which is the very last card in the tarot. It's the whole completion of one chapter, one cycle. But before we get to the end with the World card, we've got to have the Judgment. And the Judgment can be about second chances. It can be about you giving a second chance to your ex-partner. But it can also be a second chance for you, like an awakening, for you to be able to see things differently, for you to be able to do things differently. So there may be some of you that do need to see things in regards to your ex-partner differently. Maybe some of you need to change the way you've been behaving towards your ex-partner. Maybe some of you are going to want to grant a second chance to your ex-partner. But it could be here to highlight for some of you as well that maybe you want a second chance with your ex-partner. But as I said, it is about an awakening. Also with that card, it's about releasing the baggage and being able to forgive. In order for you to get to that World card and start a new cycle, a new chapter, whether that be with your ex-partner or apart, you're going to have to release any baggage, resentment that you may be carrying around, because if you re-enter this relationship, it's not going to work if you're still carrying all of that baggage with you. And by the same token, if you're going to move forward independently and separately from your ex-partner, it's going to be difficult for you to meet somebody new if, again, you are carrying all of that baggage with you. Now, the card they've got is another Major Arcana. They've got the Hangman, but it is in the reverse position. Ordinarily, it would look like that. The thing I often see with the Hangman, because we do have the bright light around the head, which when it's in its when it's upright, it talks about trying to gain a fresh perspective on things, some more insight. When I see this card in the reverse, I always think that the fresh perspective has been gained here. A different perspective may have been reached, but the person is choosing at the moment not to do anything. They're choosing not to take any action. Now, the thing with the Death card, with the Hangman, sorry, is that directly after that comes the Death card, which, as we know, talks about endings, but it also talks about change. And it may be that your ex-partner, again, has gained a better perspective on themselves and the fact that they may need to change. That there may be things about their ways, their attitude, that are needed to be changed. But they're choosing not to take any action at the moment. They're choosing not to make any moves. It could be that they're just being stubborn and they're refusing to accept that this situation has been partly brought on by their own attitude. It could be that they've gained some fresh perspective here and they may know what they want and what they don't want. But again, at the moment, they're not choosing to act. Now, in terms of what you're thinking or feeling, you've got the Hermit, another major arcana. The thing with the Hermit, his path forward is not really the issue. He can see his path forward. But he is needing to take some time out, if you like an enforced isolation. To go within himself, to seek an inner knowledge. Maybe to find out what it is that he is really thinking and feeling. And maybe this is something that you may need to do in the month of October before you make any rushed judgments. It may be that you're being given this second chance here for you to be able to go inward and reflect. And you may very well have time on your side because your ex-partner is not making any moves here. Be them, coming back to you, or even in terms of them moving on or moving forward, then, as I said, they're just not taking any action. Now, the card they've got in there, what they're thinking or feeling, is the Nine of Swords. So this is about them coming out of this quite dark and bleak energy where they've been very much within their own thoughts. The Nine of Swords is about feeling worried, feeling anxious. Things going around and around and around in our own head. And quite often with that Nine of Swords, the other person may not be communicating this to you or to anyone. It may just be in that time when they're on their own, whether it be while they're sleeping or whatever, but in their alone time, all of these worries and all of these concerns are consuming them. But the thing is with that Nine of Swords in the reverse, it's about them now having to start to come out of that energy. Now, for your outcome, we've got 3 cards here. So the first one we've got for you is the Ten of Pentacles. And this is the family card, the Ten of Pentacles. The couple, the children, the extended generations within a family, the finances, the property. It's all of the components that make up a family and a loving relationship. When it's in the reverse, it can talk about how there's difficulties within that setup. Maybe, it's there to highlight the difficulties that you've gone through with your ex-partner, how there may have been lots of arguments between you both, and how that may still be the case in October, because this Ten of Pentacles has fallen within the outcome position here. The further card I got was the Queen of Pentacles. Now, maybe for some of you, it could be that your ex-partner is involved with somebody else, maybe an earth sign, a Taurus, a Capricorn, a Virgo. I don't feel for the majority of you that this card is here to highlight that, but it is a possibility. The thing when this Queen is in the reverse, first of all, with the Queen of Pentacles, she's very grounded energy. And she looks for security. She's looking to put roots down. If you've gone through, and if you're still in this month of October, going to go through that Ten of Pentacles energy, where that whole family unit, that whole relationship thing is completely turned upside down, that is going to put you in a position then when you're not going to feel grounded. You're not going to feel any elements of security here in regards to your ex-partner. The other aspect with this Queen, though, is that she can, when she's in the reverse, isolate herself. Maybe becoming too much of a homebody. Or she can be going through a situation where she's very much consumed within her work, may have worries about being financially independent. You know, if we're talking a divorce here, then is there a situation going on where there is this dividing of finances and property, and it's bringing these concerns for you over whether you are going to be financially independent? Is it a situation that because this relationship has broken down, and because I feel there's still going to be this tense energy between you and your ex-partner in the month of October, that it's going to leave you where you are going to be more consumed within your work, that you're not going to focus so much on either your ex-partner or indeed any relationship, that you're going to be putting all your time and your energy just into your work. To further clarify, I then got the Sun card. Now, even though this card is reversed, it's still the most positive card really in the tarot. When I see the Sun card reversed, to me, it's just about having this dark cloud. Yes, the Sun card can talk about feeling energized. It can talk about going through a healing process. So, especially if you're so consumed in your work, maybe you are feeling tired. You know, maybe this healing process that you need to go through is not yet taking place fully in the month of October. But I just think that it's more talking about how in the month of October, you're going to feel like there's this dark cloud hanging over you. It's nothing major because we know the dark clouds are going to pass. But that may just be how you're feeling. Now, the outcome cards for your ex-partner. First of all, we've got the Two of Cups. And again, it's a very similar energy to the Ten of Pentacles in the fact that it's talking about two people that are going through a testing time, about there being difficulties between these two people, about how there's either a lack of communication or possibly even harsh communication going on between two people here. To further clarify that, I then got the Seven of Cups in the reverse. The thing with this card, it is about very much having their head in the clouds here. It's about illusions. It's about not reflecting here and using other things to take their mind off of what's really happening. It may be that, yes, there's these difficulties, there's this tension here between you both. So they may very well be choosing not to deal with that, choosing not to try to resolve that. So they're doing other things in order to keep those things off their mind. It may be as well that they're not reflecting enough here to see that they have been partly responsible, like I said up here with the Hangman. How sometimes they need to look at their own attitude and their own actions here to see that they have partly created this situation. And they may very well have their head in their clouds, choosing to believe that it's all you and it's not them. Now, to further clarify that for them, we got the Ten of Cups. And this is talking about unhappiness. Yes, on an emotional level, because we are dealing with cups. And all three of their outcome cards are cup cards, which deals with our feelings and our emotions. So when it comes to those elements, they're not in a good place here. They're not feeling emotionally fulfilled. They're not feeling this emotional contentment and happiness here. What I think your ex-partner is needing to go within themselves, is needing to take some time to reflect. From the Seven of Cups there, maybe they're needing to go back to that Six of Cups energy. That Six of Cups energy that talks about reminiscing, looking back at the past. Remembering when things were happy, when they were feeling content and secure. They're not choosing to take any action here. But the problem is, by them choosing not to take any action, it's going to lead to this, to them not being emotionally fulfilled. If only both of you were in a position where you could communicate with each other, because I feel that there's either a lack of communication, or when you do communicate, it ends up becoming harsh. Neither of you are happy being apart from what I can see. But it's like when you come together to try to talk or resolve issues, it just ends up in arguments. You've got the Judgment card there, which, as I said, can be an awakening here. An awakening for you to maybe act in a different way and see things in a different way. And the same for them with the Hangman. About them needing to reflect on their own attitudes here. Because I think if the communication lines between you both could become better, then you would both see how miserable you are by being apart. Okay, Aries, that does conclude this reading. I'll be back with the single and couple readings. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for all the likes, shares, and for subscribing. It means a lot. Thank you. Bye.